Hi, my name is Dermot Carberry and I'm an international social worker on the Thai-Burma border. I am a social worker at Thoo, Migrant Learning Centre. First, I'd like to tell you about how I came here. I am a social work graduate of the Masters of Social Work program from ACU in Sydney, and as part of the Masters program I had to do a placement. I decided to do my placement in Thoo Migrant Learning Centre. I came here in July 2013 for a 4-month placement, and after my placement I decided to stay. Thoo Migrant Centre is a learning centre for young people and children from Burma. All of the students have come from Burma because of their past experiences. In Burma there was a civil war for over 65 years, and even today there is still conflict inside Burma. The students are from an ethnic group called Karen. Karen people lived inside Burma, and during the civil war they were forced to flee Burma. In fleeing Burma they came to the border of Thailand. So most of our students are actually from their own state, which is called Karen state, but due to fighting and conflict they had to flee their state and come to Thailand. Most of our students have come here to seek education and safety and a more hopeful future. So during the 4-month placement I would like to explain what my duties were. As a social work student, this place is a school, so I actually became a teacher. I was teaching post-high school education. The subjects I was teaching, I was using the knowledge and skills that I learned from my Masters of Social Work. So for example, I was teaching social studies, I was teaching leadership, group work, and also I was doing some counselling with the students. During my placement, I worked with another social work student from ACU as well. We were here together, and we actually took part in doing a needs assessment in a small village inside Karen State, which is about 15 kilometers from this school in Thailand. During that time, we went to the village and we made strong relationships with the village leaders, the Christian leaders, the Buddhist leaders, and also the army. And we actually interviewed them to see what did that community need. From a lot of consultation and observation, we all formed agreement that they wanted to build a children's dormitory. This children's dormitory was planned to provide shelter and a safe and loving home to students, and particularly young children from the age of 3 to 12, to have a place to live so they could go to school. Many of these students didn't go to school because their parents worked on the farm, which was hours away, and also their parents worked in other cities, so they didn't have the opportunity to get an education. So we worked with the village leaders to build this dormitory, which is still running today and is a huge success, and we have 20 young people under the age of 12 living in this dormitory and getting love and care and shelter and food, so they can go to school, so they can get an education. The main way that I teach my students is I empower them. I give them knowledge and education, and with that they can get the ability to do by themselves. For example, in Thoo we did a gender-based violence campaign. This is where we got our students to learn about the different types of violence that happen in the family, in the community. Recently my students, they did a gender-based violence campaign in Thoo. They actually did a campaign with younger students in lower levels to share their knowledge and experience of what is gender-based violence, what does it look like, and how can we help prevent this? How can we solve this problem in the community? My students, they were able to do this through English language and also through their own language, Karen. They were able to give clear examples to students. They also were able to do dramas to show what is gender-based violence, what does it look like. It was very, very successful, and I was very proud of the students. They were very empowered. They had really strong leadership skill. They worked extremely hard to show the younger students what is gender-based violence and how can we help stop this. So I have a leadership role in the school. I also am on the school committee, and the subjects I teach are based around social work and social change. So the two main subjects I teach at the moment are leadership and community development. With the community development project, I teach them how to make a project and also how to gain data from villages to go and do community profiles and needs assessment of villages in Karen State. At the moment, our students, they're on internship in Karen State. They're doing a 4-month internship. During that time, they're teaching in primary school, and also they're doing a needs assessment of the village. These villages are very poor. they lack amenities and resources. So our students are going there to gain experience of what it's really like when they will finish school. What is the hope for them? Many of our students, they want to be leaders, so it's essential that we provide them with leadership skill and leadership ability so they can be confident to go back and help improve their society, help improve their people's lives. After my internship, my placement in Thoo, the community assigned me a new role. So I was a full-time teacher, and I also took on the role of being the financial coordinator. The main part of that duty is I negotiate and consult with donors inside Thailand and overseas to help with the funding of our school. Because our school is a migrant learning centre, we do not get funding from the Thai government or the Thai Ministry of Education. So all of our funding is private funded. So we have funders in Australia, New Zealand, America, Norway and Europe. So during my time since November 2013 until now, I write proposals and I do needs assessment of Thoo, and then I liaise with these donors in the other countries to try to get funding for our school so we can maintain our school and also improve our education, because our students, they need education. During my placement, I formed very strong relationships with young students, in particular a group of young boys who really love to do hip-hop. But when they're doing hip-hop, they were practicing outside or just around the school area when they had free time. There was no place or no dance room. So during my time here, I raised some money to actually build a dance room. But the dance room was actually student run. The students designed the hip hop room themselves. They painted themselves. They designed how they wanted the layout. And then from that, they were able to have a safe and fun place for them to practice their hip hop dancing. From that moment on, the hip hop room became actually a room where young people could come and hang out. And we did like other activities such as table tennis and fun and games in the room, because it's quite a large space. I'd like to welcome you to Thoo New Generation Hair Shop. This is the most recent community development project that I've helped co-lead in Thoo School. I have led this program with the students and teachers in this school. In the past, when the students wanted to cut hair, they would cut hair just outside around Thoo area. We found that the students were very, very talented in cutting hair and wanted to learn more. So a volunteer from America came here and gave basic hairdressing skill and design. From that moment on, the students were very, very excited to learn more and to actually set up a shop. The students came to me and they said they wanted to build a shop, and they also wanted to charge a fee of $1 per haircut. With this money, the students themselves came up with the idea to give this money to our food budget so we can provide more food to our students in Thoo School. At the moment, we have about 350 students who live on campus in dormitories, and we have to feed them daily. So to help our budget, this money actually is returned into the food budget so we can give them good, sustainable food. I strive to give my students empowerment and encouragement to be leaders. At the moment, there are many, many problems in current state. Many problems with their leadership, their politics, also the standard of living. They live in quite poor villages with lack of resources and amenities. So we are giving our students high education and skills so they can be the social changes of the future. They can go back, use their skills and abilities to help their people develop, to help their people have better futures and brighter lives. I'd like to leave you with one final quote from Gandhi, which I tell my students every day is, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." So I'd like to explain about the future plan for Thoo and also for me as an international social worker here. I plan to stay here because I can see my students, they are so hungry for education. They really want to learn and they really want to help improve current people's lives. To get that, education is the key. At the moment, I am in the process of developing a charity foundation in Thailand. Once this is developed, we will be able to seek more donors. We will be able to coordinate with more NGOs around the world so we can maintain and sustain our school and our development. We are not going to stop. It is essential that we keep going. At the moment, it is not safe for our school to go back to Karen State. It is necessary that we stay in Thailand because here we are safe, and also the Thai authorities, they agree to allow us to stay here to give education to Karen people. In the future, we hope that we can go back as an institute of education to Karen State to help develop not only small villages. We want to help develop all of Karen State in giving high education to Karen young people.